Hey, everybody. I'm here to talk to you today about your paycheck was never meant to be your identity. I'm going to say that again. Your paycheck was never meant to be your identity. So, some women have built their entire identity around a paycheck. Believe it or not, it's true. Not purpose, not calling, not impact, just survival, right? And the dangerous part about this is when your identity becomes attached to your job, you start believing that losing that job means losing yourself, right? But your job may pay you. It was never supposed to define you, right? And a lot of times women allow this to happen. Today, we're going to talk about why so many women feel stuck emotionally, drained, and frustrated, even though they're doing everything right, because deep down they know they're called to more, right? Hey, everybody, I am Cynthia Lewis, and I help Christian women stop shrinking themselves inside of comfort and start building income, impact, and freedom through what God already placed inside of them, right? And one thing I see constantly is that women are constantly underestimating themselves, right? And they're underestimating their gifts because they spent years being conditioned to believe that their worth comes from employment, right? Instead of the assignment that God has given them. But we're going to break that mindset starting today, right? So let's get into the trap of the job based identity. So, what happens is many women have unknowingly connected their confidence to their titles, their company, their paycheck, their performance reviews, and other people's validation, right? So when any of those things are, shifted, they feel lost. So, but your identity cannot be rooted in something just temporary, because you got to understand that companies are going to restructure, right? Every day. Your job can change every day. Economies change every day. But your purpose, the purpose that God has given you, the calling, the assignment, that comes from God. So, whatever that looks like for you, that's the assignment that God has given you. And more than likely, that's not going to change. It can change, but if God, decide to lead you in a different direction. But ultimately, that assignment, your calling, your purpose comes from God. And you got to remember that, guys. So, and when you know who you are, you stop panicking every time a circumstance change, right? So this is why some women stay in an environment that they know are draining them spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and financially. Not because they love it, you know, it's because that they built their identity around that place. So you need to know that God never meant for you to bury what's in your hands, right? Or what's in you. You know, there are women watching this right now who already have knowledge people need, experiences that can help others, a story that carries power, skills that can create income, wisdom that can solve problems. But fear keeps talking them out of that movement, right? Basically keeping them stuck. They keep saying, I'm not ready. I don't know enough. What if nobody listens? What if I fail? But what if you don't fail? Have you asked yourself that question? What if you don't fail? Meanwhile, the gifts stay buried. The Bible talks about the servant who built his talent instead of multiplying it. And you don't want to be someone that does that. But unfortunately, there are women, you know, There are many women that are doing that. They're doing the same thing with their calling. They're burying their calling, right? They're sitting on books, courses, coaching abilities, creative ideas, leadership gifts, business concepts, and they keep waiting, right, for permission. The obedience does not wait for perfect conditions. Guys, I'm telling you, if you sit and wait for the perfect condition, you will be waiting forever because it does not exist. All right? And guys, we're going to talk about how your calling requires movement, right? And the truth of the matter is, some of you guys don't need another motivational video. You just need to move. You need to take action, right? Because clarity grows when you move. Confidence grows while moving. Faith grows while moving. You cannot steer a parked car. And this is why entrepreneurship changes so many women's lives. Not just because of money, right? But because it forces them to finally confront fear, insecurity, limiting beliefs, dependence, self doubt, and it pushes them to grow, right? You know, you start realizing that I actually do have value. Of course you do. I actually can help people. Of course you can. I can actually build something. Of course you can, right? Of course you can. You just, that part of you just sometimes think that you can't. So guys, you need to know that your paycheck was never supposed to carry the full weight of your future, right? And your job was never meant to silence your calling. You were created to build, to serve, to lead, to multiply, to create, and to impact, right? This is what Ephesians 2 and 10 says. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus, unto good works. So that means there is work attached to your life, right? It ain't just to get up to go to work, come home and watch TV all day and all night. No, there is an assignment that God needs to you to carry out. So, and there is an assignment attached to your life, and it's time to stop ignoring it, right? So, you need to go to work from 9 to 5, and then guess what? Come home from 5 to 9. You need to work on the assignment God has given you. And many of you know that he has given that to you. Y'all been ignoring, act like you don't hear him, act like you don't know what to do, but you know what to do. You need to turn out that TV, and you need to get the pen in the paper, get the blue pen in the paper, and you need to sit down and have a meeting with God and say, okay, God, what we doing? What we doing? Tell me what am I doing? Tell me what you want me to do. What am I executing? What am I creating? Right? You got to have a meeting with the Lord. All right? So, guys, if this message spoke to you, I want you to comment, I was called to more, right? And if you're really serious about building income, confidence, clarity, and purpose outside of just surviving a paycheck, come join the Call to More membership, right? That's exactly what we do inside. And the link is going to be in the description, guys. So, yeah, if you enjoyed this message, guys, I want you to go and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, so that you can be informed. You'll receive a notification whenever I drop another video. Listen, I want to be able to help the people that God has called me to help. And it's not by coincidence that I want to help people to earn income outside of their jobs. Guys, I've been in a government job over 30 years. I'm going into my 35th year this year. And I want you to know that I didn't achieve the goals I wanted to achieve in my government career. A lot of times it wasn't because I didn't do a great job, because I've done great jobs, my performance outstandings, things of that nature, you know. But oftentimes, sometimes it's people in a behind the scenes trying to control what you can become, what you can advance into. And sometimes people already have in their mind who they want you to be and what job they want you to perform, right? And so just letting you guys know that don't stay there and be comfortable, right? Make up in your mind that, you know, whatever the assignment that God has given you, you are going to work towards it. Because that's what I'm doing. I'm working towards the assignment and I'm walking in the assignment because you guys are my assignment. And so, yeah. And, you know, I'm telling you guys this is because, you know, a lot of times people will try to control your promotions, control your increase and things like that. But guys, when you are earning income of your own, nobody can control that, right? Nobody can control that. You know, your job pay you a salary, but you control your income. I'm gonna say that again, so people in the back can hear it. Your job control your salary, but you control your income. So yeah, if you again are someone who are ready to start earning your own income outside of your job, you know, yeah, come and join me in the Call to More membership. Okay, guys, this is Cynthia Lewis. Until next time, I will talk to you soon. Bye.